Hi, it is winter in the Midwest, and that is when Midwesterners are all craving their comfort food. I love good, healthy food, but I don't consider myself to be a really great or experimental cook. So when I can find a recipe that's really easy and makes something simple, a little more upscale or elegant, I love it. I'm all over it. This recipe, I think, is one of those. Goat cheese dumplings. It was a favorite of our guests over at Soul Farm this last season. It's a little dumpling that you can add to all sorts of soups. We used it in our creamy soup. So in the spring, I used it with a vegan spinach soup, and later in the season, used it with the tomato soup. And our guests loved it. So I've got a pot of water boiling on the stove behind me, getting ready, and my ingredients here, so let's get started. So our ingredients are simple, and they're things that you can kind of keep on hand. We have a cup of goat cheese, and this is like an 8-ounce log when you buy it in the store, 2 eggs, 3 tablespoons of flour mixed with a half a teaspoon of salt, and then 1/3 of a cup of parmesan. And I'm just using the dried kind. I know that a lot of times recipes will call for freshly grated, but I find that this really kind of blends into the recipe better for me. It's simple. So if you've had the foresight to let your goat cheese come to room temperature, it's going to mix with the other ingredients so much easier. After putting that in a bowl, add 2 eggs. And then I'm just using a fork or a spoon here, I don't remember which, to incorporate everything. But a pastry cutter might be nice, especially initially, to blend the goat cheese and the eggs. So it's just blend, blend, blend for a couple of minutes. And when it's fairly even, you can add the flour and the salt. This is when it comes together into a nice fluffy dough. After you mix that just a little bit, you can add your cheese. And then it's just mix, mix, mix until you have a pretty smooth dough. It kind of looks like this. I love when you can use like pasture raised eggs because then it has a nice golden color to it. Now, like I said before, I'm a little bit of a lazy cook, so my method is to just drop the dumplings in the boiling water, just drop by a spoon. Use really small dumpling amounts. These are going to puff up, probably almost double in size. So a half a teaspoon or something will make a nice tiny dumpling. Remember, they're going to be like bite-sized dumplings in soup. Now another way that you can do this, if you like things a little bit fancier, is to preform them. They are kind of sticky and gooey, but you could preform them into smaller little dumpling balls, and then you're going to have pretty little round dumplings. See how nicely these puffed up? So after about 3.5 to 4 minutes, they're ready to come out. They'll float to the top kind of quickly, so don't use that exactly as a gauge. Give them a couple of extra minutes. They're just going to be very, very soft and very light. If you're like me, you won't be able to resist eating these while you're cooking. Yum. This makes quite a few dumplings, so consider throwing some on a cookie sheet, freezing them, storing them in a Ziploc bag so you can make another soup really special later. So for the obligatory yum yum shot at the end, I'm just using a creamy tomato soup because that's perfect for this. It's just like tomato soup and grilled cheese in a bowl. But if you have any ideas of a soup recipe that you have that you think would be really good with these goat cheese dumplings, please make a comment below because I would love to try it with some different soups. I'm always about finding new recipes. With a thicker soup, your dumplings will kind of float on the top, but with a thinner soup, they kind of sink to the bottom, but they're like little surprises down there waiting. Yum. I am totally not faking this.